Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Slipways, where today we're going to take it back down to reasonable. I wanted to put up a score on the ranked run, and I know that it is available on tough, but I I just want to take it easy. I want to do a game on easy and get my confidence back a little bit, especially after that last episode where obviously my brain was in a pretty frayed state, and I did not put up a number that I'm entirely happy with. So we're gonna do this, and then at the beginning of next week we'll get back into trying to work out how to be good at the hard difficulty. So today's quirks. This sector has significantly more Forge World and mineral planets, but also a 5% score penalty. And Empire-size scoring is replaced with 350 stars for each Forge World, which is probably a pretty powerful combination. Even with the score penalty, you're going to have a lot of Forge Worlds and a lot of fuel for Forge Worlds. I think this is gonna maybe be a run with a real high score threshold. Is it high enough for 220,000 to be a legitimate score? No, I can't imagine. This has gotta be fake, right? It is a shame that people do that. I've never understood why people do this thing, but if you've ever played any online game, really, that has scoreboards for anything, you know, people figure out how to just post arbitrary garbage numbers to it, and then that happens, and then they sure have made a thing that was very low stakes, kind of interesting and useful to people, not useful to anyone. Good job, I guess. So let's get in here and play this map. So, we got to get Forge Worlds to successful. We're told that there are a lot of mineral planets, so it may not necessarily be the case that we need to bring the Bakar. We probably have enough minerals, and in fact, this version of the Bakar doesn't really have that many. I guess it has one way of producing additional minerals. If we have a ton of access to robots, then freeze-resistant bots could be pretty good, actually. And I mean, we often find ourselves low on water, right? And especially if there's a ton of mineral worlds, if we're running a lot of mines, we are gonna need a lot of water. So the Bakar seem reasonable. And then, like, the Sylphid and the Ephorians both interact with Forge Worlds in various ways. Here we have some pretty good early techs. We got flexible fabrication, of course. Forge World planets producing one more of their main product is not probably going to help us to get to successful. Because in order to get successful, we need 2 in and 2 out, and that's the thing you can already do with base production. So, while I do think that this is good in a broad, general, like, making stuff prosperous sense, it's probably not relevant to our score, to our other scoring goal. So we may still take it. Joint factories, I don't know. Like, I'm really torn about joint factories, honestly. I think that sometimes it makes it much harder for you to make things successful or prosperous, but sometimes it's exactly what you need. And, like, we often find that we are either short on robots or chips in various areas of the network. This might be a good idea. We might want to take that. And then, like, what else do we want? Money stuff is not so relevant on this difficulty, I think. Hyperdrives, obviously, I have strong feelings about. What's everybody else showing? You have Genesis cells, which I do like. The ability to get food out of Forge Worlds is maybe actually interesting under these conditions. Potentially. Or transpose is kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that we've got a lot of value here. So it's probably not Vittori. Okay, that's just turn things Earth-like. That's fine. Obviously, replicating nanites is very, very good. Pretty much always. Tourist resort's not going to be necessary. I think if we're picking the Ephorians, we're basically only getting hyperdrive out of it, because the rest of this stuff is not super relevant on reasonable. Whereas if we're running Dender, then we get Genesis cells. The food processor is potentially valuable. I think this is probably better. I do love hyperdrives. Don't get me wrong. They let you cheat in so many fascinating ways. But you can always do infraspace relays, right? Those are not faction-based. So I think maybe we take this. We're probably not going to end up getting culture hubs. My feeling is that our tier 0 techs are probably going to be freeze bots and quantum sensors. So this is probably off the table, which means we're probably not doing a ton of culture stuff, which is a shame. Just like generating an extra resource that's really easy to move around is very helpful. Yeah, honestly, like, where I'm at with this is I kind of don't think any of the other 3 factions are very good. I don't think any of them lend much. Gosh, I love hyperdrives. So what exactly are we getting from you? We're getting xenofoods. Basically, it's like replicating nanites versus hyperdrives here. And that being the case, if we have tons of money... Well, you know, if we had normal empire size scoring, this would probably be a little bit more interesting in that way. I'm going to take the hyperdrives. Well, I guess the other thing we're doing is we're picking mission types, right? The Dender are going to be like, produce food, produce people, while the Euphorians are looking for trading with different types of things. Oh, the Dender also have colonized different types of worlds, right? Euphorians are established trade routes of different types, import hubs, two-way trades. I think we are going to take the Euphorians. And then there's probably also, I guess I haven't really learned this yet, but there's probably also a difference in the kinds of results they can get from forebear stations, right? So we're probably picking like loot pools for our random events too. So what do we want? These are both just monetary. These are both just monetary. I actually, on this difficulty, kind of feel like I don't want empty signals to become asteroids. We mostly don't want asteroids. I think I am going to pick up joint factories. Maybe it's going to end up being a little weird, but we'll figure it out. And then, like, yeah, I guess we're picking one that gives us money somehow. So is it $8 per mineral delivery? Or... This is a lot more money, but it's later, probably. So I guess let's do that. You know, you still sometimes have money problems really early on. Unreasonable. I shouldn't treat it like it's never going to be an issue. Okay. Let's start sorting this thing out here. Oh, I managed to go a little bit early on that one. Yeah, listen, I don't know how intergalactic probes work. But probably there's not a big reflex component in understanding the data. That's just my feeling. What I'm saying is this game about intergalactic trees lacks realism. It's really damaging my immersion. I'm not gonna go off on a rant, but boy, there is very little that I hate more than seeing people on internet message boards complain about immersion in games while talking about things that have nothing to do with the concept of immersion. It's just like this magic word that people think justifies whatever complaint they have. Well, I don't like that because immersion? Boy, this is an awkward one, huh? So that's an ocean, right? No, that's an Earth lake, actually. It's mostly ocean, which I guess is fair because that is what Earth is like. So we don't have a ton of good food sources here. I mean, we can robots for food there. But we need biomass if we want to use that food to allow us to settle on this Arctic world. And we do not have a source of biomass. If we wanted to settle up here, we have robots, but we don't have a way of getting food from anywhere. This planet can't produce food. I think this is one of those situations where we're just going to have to pick a direction and build off of it and hope. Which, as you know, is not my favorite move. The good news is we have lots and lots and lots of places to get goods available. These early people planets are definitely going to get their goods. So, man, I really wish I had correctly explored this signal. All right, I am going to spend an extra month on it. That information is critical. Okay, yeah, that totally solves our problem. Because now we got robots, food, biomass. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do the thing. Wait, don't make a trade. They never ask you for two-way trades when it would be easy for you to do that. That's probably doable. We don't even have an ocean planet in our chain right now, and we're definitely about to build robots, so I think this could work. Let's run some trade here. You do that. Huzzah! Can we? Oh, that's a shame. That water there would almost... We would only need one more robot output in order to get that planet to produce a third robot by itself. Something over here? An ice ball, maybe? Nope. Nothing that we can use to produce water from robots. You know, if you just squeeze a robot hard enough, water will come out. That is how that works. All right, well, I guess let's start expanding this way. I'm going to go Mineral World. Minerals make goods. Get that to successful at least. $30 income. It's incredible. Do I think I did that wrong? I'm going to reverse that. Hold on a second. I have a different idea. Let's make this a split multi-purpose factory and then do robots to goods over here. Because I want to make this a people world, ideally. We want to be reaching out in this direction, right? This includes more worlds in the trade chain, which is not necessarily awesome. Oh, I was not even thinking about that. That's a really good reason to have done this as well. But it also creates more trade links in the trade chain, which is good. And now we have, in theory, the goods for this world. We just have to figure out what we're going to do with that world. Well, we don't have a source of food yet, but there's the minerals we would need to make this a people world. Yeah, and then we get the goods off of this, and it's successful immediately. We feed one more mineral into that, and that's successful. This is definitely, in a long-term scoring sense, this was definitely the right move. So we're not going to get any of the slipway growth technologies. At least it doesn't look like it right now. Sometimes we can get lucky and get it from like a 4-bear ruin or something. Speaking of which, can I reach that? Okay. Well, that's not super exciting. I was just thinking, like, if we could get that 30% bonus range on your Slipways tech, this connection would be so nice. Let's go ahead and do this. I think this is going to give us enough vision to solve that. Yeah, cool. 9 extra units of minerals is probably pretty doable. Increasing the production of goods by 2 units is also very doable. Yeah, let's take these 2. We're going to need to get a lab set up pretty soon, but obviously we are going to be producing a lot of the same kind of stuff everywhere, so I don't anticipate it being a huge issue. Let's go ahead and do this thing. It'll get us some progress on one of those. And then we need the food in here. Okay, not too bad. So we just do this thing here. Hooray. So if we can get some water to this world, it will produce another point of minerals for us. And then we could have that feed into here. Or actually, we can just have this produce minerals. That's right. So we could do minerals chips here, make this a robots chips world, and then build a lab right here for chips. It won't be the best lab ever, but it will be functional for getting us early technology. So if we were to build it like, I'm trying to, is there a spot where I can get, what we want is access to both those forge worlds. Yeah, this is pretty good. This will allow us to run 3 units of chips to that pretty easily. That's a good start. All right, so let's set up for that. Let's get some science by the end of 3406 here. So I am, in fact, gonna feed some raw resources into this thing. And we're also But if I make this the source... Oh, no, never mind. I was going to say, this slipway is going to be a problem. But right, I set this up so that I wouldn't need to worry about that. So... I would rather use the people from this world. Is that right? Or do we want... Well, I guess we're going to send people to the lab from both worlds. What am I talking about? Why would I choose when I could just do both? Like that little girl said in that commercial. Look at that. It's beautiful. And then we do this, and I don't even have a plan for making that work, but we'll get there. There's probably some water out here somewhere. Spent all of my money. All right. 6 science income. Pretty solid start. Give me those quantum sensors. Obviously. Why did you even ask? You know what I want. All right. So, we need to continue producing minerals and continue producing goods. It would be great to produce goods around the people worlds we have, but also we could just get some new people worlds going. So let's see here. We have access to a spare water in this area. So we could do people and minerals here. And then... I want to be using this for robots, right? Can I... No, this swamp world does not reach that. Where am I going to get the food for this? I guess that's an Earth-like. We could just do people for robots, robots for food, but that means that we can't send population to the Forebear Ruins, which is the thing I have a tremendous early interest in. And this world has access to goods off of that world, which makes it feel a lot better. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this, and then we're just going to scout around a little bit. Maybe we can find some new options. Okay. Interesting. Does that change things? Yeah, that totally works, right? Because that's robots and yeah. Yeah, video games are easy is the thing. So this makes robots and chips, or which side do we want to be which? I guess this side is probably not the good side because there's nothing else around here. Yeah. So let's produce some extra resources, shall we? This will get us some more minerals toward that goal. Show me something fun. Primordial and Forge World planets allow you to turn biomass into robot. That doesn't seem that good. And then we're definitely going to do this, although I find myself out of minerals already. Ah, this is a place where you can get water, though. We have the right kinds of resources out here. It's just we don't quite have the right numbers. Also, we have a bunch of science, and we should probably be using our science to do things. You know, the things. Do I want to... Does mineralize allow you to change desert worlds? It does. So we could mineralize this world, and then have this world send minerals to make goods. Water comes in there. That's pretty promising. The other thing we can do, of course, is turn this into mineral plus chips, and use these minerals to do that. Which is probably what I'm going to do. Yeah, and then the world's going to want chips afterward, right? Yeah, so that gets us our goods goal and more progress toward our other goal. Yeah, that seems like the smart play. Let's just do that. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's create the connection first so that the minerals don't just get sent over to the bad place. And I should probably pick up a tech. Do we want freeze-resistant bots? Because we could just take mass lensing and move forward. You know what, let me grab it. I want at least the possibility for later. And then we could also grab mineral seeding now. I don't know if I feel that's necessary. We definitely are going to want mass lensing. Let's just save up for mass lensing for a moment here. And then press this button and move the minerals to the good spot. Okay. So we need to establish one more functional mineral world. And then we need to upgrade a mineral world to successful, and it can be that new one or it can be one somewhere else. Either one really works. Do you have range on that? You do not have range on that, so we can't produce water from here. Let's take a quick look down. So if I make this water, I still need another point of mineral income to actually produce another robot from here, though. Actually, it won't jump up to mineral income until we export the chip somehow. So there's, partial downside on this this split factory thing. It does make it a little bit more complicated to push them up. Huh? How are we gonna do that? What's my plan? Did I have a plan? If not, shouldn't I have? Don't you think? Okay. So we can get water from here as well. These Arctic worlds are good sources of robot water, which is what you get when you compress a robot. So we can maybe make this into a people world. Can you reach that world to your north? You cannot. Stupid gravity well. Looks like if we send a person up there, then this world is going to be in position to produce more stuff. And I think if we make this a people world, we can send off the goods from here and make this world successful. And potentially produce a way over here of getting the water out of that world. Obviously, we have a planet that can produce robots down there, but I don't have a way of getting the precursor resources to it. Now, that's just a very awkward collection of planets right there. All right, so if we made this a colony world, we could get the biomass from here, but we have no source of food. Or we could get the food from here and then have no source of biomass. What we cannot do is feed people who are trying to live here. There's no easy source of water to this world, at least not the way that we built things. There is a source of water that could be delivered here, depending on how stuff works out on this side. Let's maybe take a look at that. Wow. Okay, not a lot of places for people to live. But I guess if I'm doing people to water on this world anyway... Oh, no, shoot, it's an Earth-like, not an ocean. So this would absorb the 1 point of water immediately, and there would be nothing to send down here. I need that to be an ocean world. I need just a lot more water. The freeze-resistant bots are going to turn out to be really valuable, except that we have discovered no ice ball planets. Not a single one of the bad worlds has actually shown up yet. So yeah, in every location on this map, we are one resource off of things working well. It is a little tiny bit frustrating, in case you were wondering. So if we had a food source here, we could certainly just make some more mineral worlds and then do a mineral lab in the middle. Is there a food source near that? Oh, tell me. Ah, man, really? Really? I can't quite get all those? Well, we could get all those if we just do this. All right, I'm committing. If there isn't an easy food source up here, we have the option of just mass lensing this thing at the beginning of 3410. But we do have some possibilities here. So, with a little bit of biomass, we could get food from either of those worlds. With mass lensing, we can get food from that world very easily by just sending people up here. So we just like... My plan is make these two worlds both mines. That satisfies our goal. Take a look at our next goals, then lab right here and send in 3 points of minerals plus people from here, plus probably people from there. Although I guess if I send people from there, it prevents me from using these goods to feed that world. I don't know, it's something like that. Let's go ahead and just set it up. So that makes 2 of 3, that makes 3 of 3. Let's have a look at the new options. Get 1 mineral producing world to prosperous, make lots of robots, or get 2 ocean planets to successful. This ocean planet only needs a single person export to become successful. Excuse me. And then, like, we can do this. This is extremely doable. This we're not as close to, but it does get us since it is our 3rd mission for the same faction, it does get us that tech discount really early, which I do think is very meaningful. Yeah, let's do that. And like, it could increase production of robots by 6 units is make 6 more robot worlds probably, so that one I think is a little bit further off. All right, let's make this work. Let's make this lab. So, I'm going to put down the lab first, and we're going to figure out sort of the rules of its function later. I want to make sure I do this in a place where it's not going to intersect with... Oh, well, I guess if I draw this, I'm also not able to get minerals from there. So maybe we're not planning on using that goods line anyway. Yeah, we're just going to do this. All right. I'm going to connect all of the science makings to this thing, and we'll figure everything else out later. Like where I'm going to get food and people. I mean, getting the food solves the people. We are in position to take mass lensing, and obviously we do that. I can no longer use this to get food over to there, but now that this could become a thing, we can just do robots for food. That seems plenty fine to me, I think. Although, that's going to consume a point of population. So then we have to get goods down here before we can get the 4th point of population that we need to actually do that. Why can't you just be a normal Forge world so I could send minerals over there and get robots that way? Alright, let's look up here. If like that's a Forge world, it does solve my problems. It's not, though. Okay. Inconvenient. That's what I have to say about that. Alright, so we can do a connection from here. If we can make this a water-producing world... somehow. I don't know where we get the people for that, but if we could, it would not be that hard to make that successful, because we have a lot of places where we can dish out water, right? Remnant worlds love water. Yeah, that would be pretty easy. And then we just we make a lab or something with this one. We still need to make, and then we're partway to making this world prosperous. Would it be this one? It's probably this one. Like we do people somewhere and then we water world this primordial. But to make this prosperous, we would need a lot more inputs. Well, okay. Once we get water into it, we can have it feed that world. That puts it on 5 imports and exports. And then we just need to get people or water into it, and from wherever we're getting the people for the primordial world, we can just send one of them here. Oh, we have to get worlds to successful around it, too. Gah. I'm starting to think this video game's a tiny bit complicated. Just a little tiny bit. Okay. If we could... The best case scenario here... I guess the best case scenario would be if these two worlds were swapped in their positions. I'm desperate to get water to some of this stuff out here, and it's not easy to do with the technology that we have. Am I allowed to do it to arid worlds? No. Ice ball, desert, and lava. So, there's a lava world here we can mineralize and send even more minerals over to our mineral lab. Boy, that's not what I was hoping to see. All right, does this have range to that? It does. It does. Okay, so there's some water production. So if we do robots to food, this can produce water for that at least. We can send the extra point of population here. No, damn it. Right. We spend the point of population making the robots. Unless we... I guess what we have to do is get the point of population for this from elsewhere. So, like, if we had a source of water, which we totally have, we could use the food from here. Yeah. Okay. It's complicated, but I think it's the right answer. So food to you, two-way trade for the water. Try to make this world successful. There's our second ocean world. We go people to robots here. My new technology is terribly relevant? Not really. I don't really care about the cost of my slipways. I don't really care about costs at all. So I guess we take mineral seeding because there's some chance that'll be useful. Make this a food world. Just lensify this one. Okay. Now we send you to here, which calms that down. And then... yeah. Then we're relatively solid here. And we can start working on... making this world... no, we're never going to make this one prosperous. We can make it successful. And we should. But yeah, that's never going to be prosperous. That's fine. Did we end up with repurposing? We totally did. That rules. Okay. Very happy about that. So we have to make the ocean worlds actually prosperous. That is a thing that needs to happen. You need an export route, or sorry, successful. You need an export route, and then prosperous is not that far off for this world because we can make a goods here with repurposing and send it up. I might hold off on grabbing repurposing. I might wait until after we have some of this like movement tech. So what else do we need to do up here? To make this world successful, we would need an import and an export. The export's easy enough. Although, if I do that, I can't do this. You know what? The export's easy enough. There's remnants all over the place. Show me this. Industrialize. You know? That is interesting. Do we want that? We don't necessarily need a ton more robots here. Although I guess if I do take this, we can robot lab, get some more science income. What else is around here? If we did that, would it be feasible for me to add more robots? If we did like this, we can get robots from here and from there and from there. I do love Robot Lab. The problem with science is you never have enough of it. Can this connect? Okay, so if we can feed in some goods here somehow, or found another people world somewhere around here, we'll get that done. Okay. Plus 17 science per turn. It's getting to like a pretty okay place. So, can we, in fact, get another people world going around here? Because that would be the really optimal solution, right? And then we could send once we send water to this, it will accept this, and then we can send another people from wherever the people world is to here. That makes this world successful. Then we flip either this one, or it turns out This one is quite close. We just need to connect it to one world that needs food. And that gets one of our tasks. And at this point, do I want, like, splitters maybe? Or, you know, I wasn't really thinking about fusion plants, but we do now have some water in some places. We have, like, just some loose water. Yeah, it's wild to be doing a thing where we need this much water and think, you know what, I could afford some spares for fusion. But I do think it's true. All right, let me probe a little bit more here before I make this decision. So, okay, that's an interesting connection there. You need a source of food. We have to lensify this world so that we can get the people over to here. But that's pretty doable. I'm gonna do this and make this connection now because it flips this world to successful. And then we're gonna connect this one to something. Is it just make a lab? I think it is make a lab because I don't think we have. Yeah, we don't really have another place, so we can send a person. I can send a person up here if I lensed one of these two. We don't really need water or biomass up there as far as we can tell. If I got beam splitting, we lensified this asteroid, I could send people up to here for biomass and then split the beam down there and try to get this world to successful if we can just get the food out. And that helps us set up for more prosperity. It's not the worst thing ever. And beam splitting is broadly pretty useful. We don't have a lot of call for it right now. Or any, actually. But it is broadly useful. The other thing we could do, of course, is pick up the ability to make our own slipstream relays. If we grab stream splitting now and then something else and then push for infraspace mastery afterward, we get those really, really good infraspace relays, which will allow us to cause a lot of prosperity in the end game. I'm going to take stream splitting, and that is, in fact, going to be how I do this. Okay. Successful ocean world, and then we may as well just go ahead and do that. And then, to be clear, a big part of the reason I did that is that do we have any examples? No, I'm pretty good about not letting this happen. If you have a planet that is not exporting anything at all, it actually exerts like a 3 or 4% unhappiness penalty. So you do have to take pretty seriously the goal of getting rid of that noise. Speaking of which, we should probably add some water to this and get the minerals out so that we can stop our various unhappiness penalties here. Am I just going to do fusion for this? Is it just going to be water makes the food as well? I guess we have a lot of primordial worlds, but they're kind of awkwardly placed. Because we could do biomass, food, and then connect this down through there via lensing or something. I guess partially the question is, do I want to spend 34 science picking up fusion plants? I'm pretty sure the answer to that is no. Right, I'm pretty sure I do want, even though we have all of these sources of goods, I think it may still be the case that we want flexible fabrication. And you gotta remember, it works both ways, right? Goods worlds can produce robots too. That's not usually how we end up using it, but it does in fact give you quite a bit of flexibility in connecting things, and it gives worlds way more ways to make imports and exports, and on the whole, it's very, very good. Gosh, we have a lot of worlds where we're, like, pretty close. A lot of worlds where we are pretty close to making some prosperity occur. So you need 2 more imports or exports, which we cannot really get for you. But if we had fusion plants, we could, in fact, just turn... At any place where we have a water world connecting to something, it can serve as 2 imports or exports. And then once we have a source of energy going, plus infraspace, we can distribute that energy all over the place. Yeah, I think I actually do want this to be our next tech. I don't want to grab flexible fabrication. So that being the case, this doesn't have to be like a big thing. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and lensify this now. And we're going to make this connection. So I'm trying to be time efficient here. We'll fix this as soon as it is sensible to fix it. And then we just need 1 mineral world to become prosperous. So this one's not that far off. And if we successfully make this a water world, then it can provide additional incomes or whatever is needed to help that happen. So what? We would want to make this a people world then. This people world... This thing will produce an extra chip once we get like a point of energy into it. So it could provide that. We need a source of food, which we can probably just grab from there via lensing. Like, we have this here, but I don't think it actually helps us. Because we'd have to get robots and biomass into it. Which we maybe could do. Maybe. There's also there's really just like a huge weird cluster of primordial worlds here that could be used to produce food in the old-fashioned way. But why do that when we can just lensify every planet in sight? Okay. Let's figure this out. So we're going to do that. We're going to pick up plasma containment. We're going to use these people to make water. Water provides stuff there. Okay, apparently we made that prosperous. Wasn't even thinking about it. So this needs 1 import, and it needs 2 worlds around it to become more successful. We can use a fusion plant here to generate the extra point of minerals necessary to turn that successful, which will cause it to produce the chips that we need to make this world okay. And then this needs to be connected to 1 more successful thing. And in that case, this world is missing a person to become successful. That makes this prosperous and moves our tasks forward. So let's go ahead and do it. So we drop this here. Wait, where'd the chip? The chip went somewhere. Oh, the chip goes there to... I forgot about that. And now that we have this, we can do energy-driven industry and produce all kinds of extra points of everything. Actually, that rules. Let's take that right now. And now we still have the chip from here. Solves that problem. And then we have this extra point of energy to distribute, which we just feed into this world, right? It doesn't fix the problem of it not being connected to enough successful things, but it does get us the last point of import or export. And then, yeah, like I said, we just like find a way to get people to there. So I have to blow up this asteroid. I love minerals. Okay. People. How I people. Since time immemorial, our greatest scientists have asked, how I people? How I do it? Help. And this is really like task number 1 is fix one of these 2 worlds. So we would need a second import for here. It's not this one. We cannot connect you meaningfully to any other world around you. So yeah, it really is just this world has to get successful. All right, well, let's look for a place where we can do people from there. Ooh, also, sorry, we should do this because this might be information that actually affects things. So we, in theory, have access to manufactured luxury. That is potentially very compelling. It is not a source of people. Is there an easy source of people? There is not. What do we want to do? We can't use any of this stuff to generate a point of water in any way to set up another fusion lab. If I had sent this point of energy back to here, it would have leveled the world up and caused it to generate another point of water, and then we could have built another fusion lab here and used that point of water to feed this and this. Yeah, because we feed an energy down here, it causes the production of an extra chip, and then, yep, I goofed. The second point of energy from this should have come here, and it would have solved both of my problems. Well, phooey. That's what I have to say about that. I guess there's one more probe worth doing. Okay, we have worlds over here that can support life. Your food is coming from really far away. I hate to keep using Lensify because it is not super time efficient. But if we Lensify this, we can run... No, that doesn't quite work, does it? I was thinking we could use the robots from here, connected through there to generate food, and then... Yeah, it gets a little complicated, actually. Can I just do it the old-fashioned way? Do you have range on that? You do have range on that. Ah, but this cannot reach the water world, which is what I was hoping for. Because we're still going to have to Lensify this thing. That's just due to its very awkward position. There's not really a good way around it, unfortunately. Can you connect to there? No, you cannot. Range. Just the tiniest little bit out of range, too. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make the Forge World happen. I am relatively confident we can get this done. I'm just going to do that right now. We're going to finish our task. We're going to look at the next tasks. And then we'll figure out where we want to go from there. Ha! Do it 2 more times. That's a tricky one. 3 more import hubs should be no problem at this point in the game. That's exactly what we are trying to do. And again, tech discounts, big deal. Increase the total production of chips by 6 units does feel... It does not feel like a thing that we are super eager to do. Although I guess at this point, we're sort of in a fusion plant kind of place. And with the bonus energy production, we are actually making a lot more chips. Now, we can totally do that. So, like, if I do this, we go water in here, energy up there. That makes that world produce 2 extra chips immediately and give back an energy. Don't know what I'm going to do with that energy yet, but we have it. If we just send it back to Megara, it does make this world prosperous, which is kind of cool. What else? And now that we've done this, we have an extra point of water here. And so there's really no reason we wouldn't use fusion on this side. We can use that to be our food generator. I could just Lensify this world. We can pass the robots through it, and that'll solve that. We don't have a source of goods for you, which is a shame, because that is how we intend to turn you into an import hub. I don't know what I want to do with that just yet. Yeah, there's actually a number of places where it's just like, I just need some goods income. Oh, also this. Right, I was gonna, I'm very spacey. how do we do this? I'm trying to make sure. So we're going to use an energy. If I'm using the energy directly on this world to consume the food need, then I can just lensify this world and go people out to make minerals, minerals down to make goods. That makes an import hub, and it resolves a resource shortage, which we desperately need resolved. So this, that, this. Using energy to produce people, always a little risky because now we've gained an extra point of unemployment. Minerals make goods. Connect. I do love stream splitting. Okay, so that's one import hub established, a bunch of points of unhappiness fixed, although some of those are going to come off slowly. You've still got those past shortages points. And then we need to resolve this. Do we have resource shortages anywhere else? We don't, right? Okay. Because you don't want to try to fix those all at the end of the game, because obviously, you know, it takes a while for them to come off. So we could do the same thing over here. And in fact, we could set up a fusion plant down here, have this be a chip world, and then we can have chips feed the fusion plant. We can produce 2 points of energy. One of them goes there, one of them goes here. And then we got, I don't know what from there, but it makes that world happy. I'm always a little leery of completely replacing, like there's a danger here in that we can no longer use this world to consume food because we've completely replaced the food need with energy. It's a pretty small danger, to be clear. Another thing I suppose we could be looking for is to use this energy to create an import hub. We could just feed energy to things to get them to have a third input. Anywhere that we have water, we can do that. Looking around for places that will be tremendously improved by that, and it doesn't look like we have all that many. It would be cool here, but also just the raw water would be pretty cool here. You have 2 food income, or you have two people income already, so we can just feed your water directly across. That'll make that world 1 export off of being successful, and it'll finish your exports, and then we just get a good to this world, which is a high priority thing for us to do anyway. Do I have range? Oh, well, so do that. That makes an import hub. And then, yeah, that does it, right? We do that, and then we have to improve 1 world to successful by getting robot off of this world. Yeah, that totally works. Yeah. So we'll come back and make that happen at some point. How close are you? You need to be trading with... Oh, actually. That makes an import hub, and then when we move the robot off of this, it flips both of these to successful now, or to prosperous now. We're not going to do that just this second. We'll come back for it later. It may be useful in a later mission to be able to do that at that time. So now we need to dramatically increase chip production. You know what? I'm just going to do the boring thing here. We're going to go water to there, energy to there. That makes 10,000 chips, and then we use this energy to feed this world. Just get rid of the resource shortage and worry about the consequences later, like the massive unemployment that we are introducing. You know, it's fewer points of loss than the it's fewer points of happiness lost than the resource shortage was. So it's still a positive move, even if it's a sort of an undirected positive move. And then I think if we just direct this way, we'll have another water setup, And we could do another fusion plant off of a split factory somewhere. That's pretty... that's a pretty fun amount of resources for a world to have. So... are we studying water or biomass anywhere? We have minerals and robots and chips, right? Yeah, chips. There's enough time left for us to benefit from another lab. So you need more imports and exports. So water in here. I'm trying to figure out like what I think the right way to use this water is. Obviously, I want to do another fusion plant, probably off of here. And it probably is just like water in. Fusion plant generates the base energy for this to function. And then this is producing a huge amount of product. We can send some of that product out to here. Some of it will go to the fusion plant, obviously. But that means I can't send water from here to there directly because I'm building a slipway directly across that. If we made this a people world, which we could do very easily, then we set up a fusion plant down here. We can do all that stuff. Yeah, I think I like that, actually. So I'm gonna do this. That's the wrong button. I was thinking about labs. So feed this into there, feed this into there. Accomplishes my goals. Let's see some new tasks. Increase the total production of energy by 7 units. I do intend to. I would love to do that. Am I going to increase the number of robots by 8 units or by 7 units? I don't know about that. This is build 8 fusion or build 4 fusion plants, right? I really want to. I actually would very much like to do that. Okay. So, this might just be goods for this world, potentially. And then we can just do some exports for the sake of exporting. I think I like that. Because that makes this world successful. It sets up prosperity all over the place. And we're allowed to take any technologies we want. Strongly incentivized, I think, to grab infraspace mastery at this time. Because we already have split tech, so now we just have these really, really powerful relays. I think I'm gonna go like this. Feed energy into there, connect that. Give this world another energy, because that's the only way for it to be successful, and that's 350 stars. And then I just feed the other energy back in the other direction, right? That produces 2 more water that we can use for greater fusion. And then we can start talking about, like, all of the worlds in the middle here. Can start flipping. So... do we have a chip producer in this area? We don't really. I was just thinking if we infraspace water from here to, like, there, we split it to this world and then a fusion plant. If we could generate 2 energy off of that fusion plant, it would allow us to take care of both this world and that world. But we don't really have a lot of spare chips in the region. We could make more chips. We shall make more chips. And yeah, we're highly motivated to connect those worlds anyway. So... right? That gets us chips. Then we infraspace. Where's the fusion plant actually going to be? I want it to be like here so that I don't have to make fancy infraspace relays to get to where I'm going, but I'm gonna have to infraspace the chips there anyway. Yeah, this is just actually a very expensive task. That said, it's really, really good for us in a lot of ways. I think it is worth the time we have to spend on it. So this thing goes, it doesn't so much matter. Connect that to there, that to there. And then, oh, no, hold on. I can ease this a little bit by building the fusion plant in a position where it can see that thing. There we go. We just connect this to here. Okay. Energy. Energy. Okay. Fun. Now, we make that connection to there. Cool. And then, how are you not prosperous? You need 1 import or export. Are you close? You need an import or export, so actually connecting this to here flips both of those worlds. Pretty good news. Hold on. Maybe shouldn't do it yet. Maybe I should try to finish. Let's finish our breakfast here. And then, you know, we may get tasks to make worlds prosperous. I'm gonna push a lot of this prosperous making back a bit. So, we still have this world that needs to be flipped over to help some of this other stuff go off. And we are going to have enough money for another tech here. This could be, it could be monolith time. Right? If we did make this happy somehow, then a monolith like in this area, perhaps using some infraspace shenanigans, it could eat to, actually, yeah, it could be connected to a lot of worlds, a lot of useful worlds. Okay, there's some possibilities there. And in fact, we could even save some time with it because we can use single relays to connect 2 worlds to it at once. Yeah, that's definitely interesting. Okay, we need to continue producing energy, and then we need to figure out what goods we haven't traded here and trade those, like actually moving some goods around. Food, biomass, okay. We do have a situation here where some biomass movement would be lovely. Is there a people world that needs to... There's these. I was thinking like we need to import people to this world as well. How close are you to flipping? You need... Okay. You need some help. Some things have to get done. We'll get there. Probably. So... if we do a relay, like... Is it possible for me to get that? No. Oh, but if I connect this world to that, it connects us to both of these. So, if we set the relay up over here somewhere, there we go. Now I have the ability to siphon people off of that one as well. Hooray for splitting! So then we need to move food or goods or... Is there... What else are we missing here? I guess pretty much just food and goods. But that's okay. I'm sure we have one of those somewhere that we can do something with. Yeah, we have a goods world here. What is the best way to connect this to a world that needs it? I mean, obviously the best thing would be to feed it into that. Do I just want to run it like run an infraspace relay like this? Is there going to be a spot where I can do this connection? I don't think there is. So to connect that to there, we would probably need to make 2 jumps, which I am not wild about. Looks necessary. Is there another world? All the worlds over here that can accept goods already have goods, and that's not a big deal. But it does make it feel a little bad. Do we want to use this water to feed that, or do we want to use this water to produce energy? It's got to be energy, right? If we put a fusion plant up next to the wormhole somewhere, connect the water to that, use the energy from it to feed this, we get extra chips, that creates more energy that we use to feed in here. We do have to be a little bit careful with how we sort of torture the infraspace in this area if this is where we're thinking we might build the monolith. Because we want to make sure that we have room to actually run all the lines that we want to run to the monolith. I'm also not actually sure how I... oh, no, never mind. We do. We do, in fact, know how we plan to finish that. The biggest problem with waiting until later, which is absolutely correct, absolutely the thing we should be doing, is that I am extremely forgetful. I'm going to grab the monolith tech now. We will produce enough science to also get hyperspace, so we can hyperlane it. Or potentially manufactured luxury. No, we're only going to get 34 more. We will not also be able to have manufactured luxury. So I guess, would I be better off taking manufactured luxury? How many prosperous Forge Worlds do we have? Your 2 imports or exports off. Yeah, we really need you to connect to these worlds over here. You are somehow still too... I mean, I guess, yeah, you have a lot of products that are unspent. That does make sense. Right now, our number of successful Forge Worlds is okay. Our number of prosperous Forge Worlds is actually... It's almost... Is it 0? It's actually 0. And it's not going to remain 0, but... Yeah, maybe I don't want that. Let's just do this. So... Don't build it. Finish tasks. Focus. SB. My friend. You've got to focus a little bit. Okay. If we could... This could even be a normal relay. And in fact, there's no reason to build a normal relay. Oh, right. You can lensify things into an infraspace relay. I always forget about that. There's no reason to build a normal relay if we could do a lensify, because it takes the same amount of time, but it's cheaper. Oh, also, another good reason is I don't have normal relays. I forgot that we did not ever bother to develop that technology. So I'm just thinking we do a normal relay here because it preserves a pass-through for infraspace. But maybe I'm being silly. Maybe there's no reason to do that. Yeah, let's not even bother spending the month. We'll just run the people. Can I get that angle? No, I can't. It is actually like legitimately quite difficult to get. Oh. If I lensify this, it does shrink its collision size. Okay, neat. Should that be a normal relay? Is it gonna matter? That should probably not be an infraspace relay, because we're gonna surround it with infraspace lines. And looking around, I don't see any place where I think I would want to... Yeah, there's at least some possibility here that we like connect these two worlds and we want a normal relay for that purpose. So, how am I gonna... I would like to connect this to both of these worlds. That's my hope. It does seem a little challenging. But we could use the points. I was really hoping I'd be able to get a position where I could connect to that. But it looks like we're just going to have to build a really large number of relays, which sucks, because that's a lot of time. I moved my mouse cursor over right before letting go. The exact worst possible time to do that thing. connect that. That'll get us the task. We'll worry about the other connection later if it becomes relevant. Because it may not be. So, let's get the rest of our energy done. And then we will worry about other problems. Once again, I find myself wishing I had sent this energy back. Whatever, it's fine. So, to produce more energy. If we can get this thing turned on the rest of the way, that's one, and then we build one more fusion plant. Or we could just build 2 fusion plants. Either one of those is a perfectly workable plan. Let's see. If I fusion plant here, we're not going to be able to get chips, but we are going to be able to flip a world to successful in a position where a lot of its neighbors need a little bit of successful. All right, this is we were talking about using this world as the source of chips for this, right? So how do I want to do this? It's like because we're going to want to run the energy to here. The positions of the planets here are a little bit awkward. So I need to run water and chips to the same fusion plant. And then the fusion plant needs to direct energy to there. I would build the fusion plant in this triangle if... Well, no, that totally works. That totally works. We have to do it like this, though. It's fusion plant goes here. Relay goes there. We send the energy to this, which sends the chip back to that, which lets me do this thing. I could have just connected the chip directly, I suppose. Would it be better to just do that? Because that would give me a connection to the world. No, probably not. All right, so you're successful, which helps the worlds around you. And I mean, also, that's just points. And so now, if we just find a place where we can get a single chip feed into this, then we have accomplished another goal. We don't have a ton of spare people around, but people to chips here does get the job done. All right. So that's like, this becomes an infraspace relay. Okay, there's my task. We have 1 year and 4 months left. Is any of this stuff doable? We have... Nope, that's an Earth-like. Don't get confused. That is not an ocean planet. You know this. Okay, here we have an ocean planet that's ready to flip. Very close. That's an Earth-like. That's an Earth-like. Where are my other oceans? There, that one's not particularly close, but maybe we can make it happen. Maybe. So get 2 ocean planets to Prosperous is looking a little rough. I don't think I'm going to take either of these. I just don't think we're in a place to guarantee that that will happen. We are for certain going to get 1 ocean flipped. Oh, you're an ocean. And all you need is for 1 planet around you to improve, which we are going to do. Let's do it. We can do it. We can do it. So, we don't have a ton of time left. Let's get it figured out. We need to now, absolutely critical, have 1 planet connected to you, flip over, or connect you to a planet that is already flipped over. One thing I do see as a possibility is feeding this point of energy back into this world and then using the extra water to produce, produce a connection to here. This world still needs a friend, although this world's about to receive a friend. I guess this is when we do this, right? Let's make that happen. That connection is still valuable. A connection would still solve this world's problem. The other thing we can do is just robots out of here. But I don't know, is there a place around here that needs robots? Can we sort of two birds that? And then we also need you have to make some friends here. So we would need people out of this world. We would need water into this world. Like, we're definitely going to do this. That solves one of the problems. And then we need one more world to flip, or we need to connect you to a world that you are going to play nice with. And my inclination is to do the extra people, the extra connection thing, because we have a lot of unemployment. You know, we are going to get to mind control. Maybe we don't have a lot of unemployment. Maybe I don't care about that problem at all. But still, flipping worlds over is a good idea. Are there any worlds around here that could use an extra people? Not worlds that are super easy to get to. Does that work? Can you make it there in one? No. The elbow that goes from this world to that world is not necessarily trivial. And time is a factor, right? We do care a lot about the amount of time we are spending on these goals. You're already connected. You are already connected to all of the worlds in this area that need what you're selling. Yeah, it probably is easier to just have it be this one. We want to flip the other one too, but we must flip this one. Or we must flip some stuff somewhere. So, like, is it energy to here produces water? We send the water there, and then we send that chip out to another fusion plant somewhere. We don't actually... I don't know that we have time to build another fusion plant. We might be done. So yeah, I think it is. Let's just do energy to here. Is there any place where a water connection is going to cause a world to gain score? Because if not, I'll just connect it to this and call it a day. Because connecting it here doesn't actually solve the problem unless that world does get to successful, which we currently cannot guarantee it will. Well, no, actually, I can just connect it to this, and it will deliver chips. Yeah, because we have 2 worlds of chip incomes. So yeah, okay, that does cause this world to gain score. So what we want to do, unfortunately, are we going to hyperlane that? Or are we going to buy mind control? Because if we're going to buy mind control, we can't also buy hyperdrives. Mind control is probably too good. We have too much unemployment to ignore mind control, I think. So unfortunately, there's no way to do this that doesn't necessitate the building of an additional relay. Is that right? Because you can't connect to there. If I could connect this world to here and then this to there, we could save ourselves a little bit of time. But sadly, it just doesn't quite work. We are going to have to build one more relay, which is going to cost us additional time. So I'm looking around trying to figure out if there's a spot for it that is particularly good. A place where it will allow other connections that are meaningful, and I think the answer is no. There's still this world. It would be nice if water got to this world. There's no universe in which I can make that happen. Okay. I don't see a particularly relevant spot for this. Oh, how close are you to Prosperous? Oh, well, you're already connected to that world. What am I talking about? Yeah, this one... We're going to get close to flipping this one. Because when we level this up, this will only require one more, and so it turns out to be high value for us to level up the robot world anyway. Or to just do this. Actually, yeah, that's the right play. And then we do connect these. Okay. 2 prosperous worlds. Good news. Wait a minute. That was an Earth-like. That wasn't an ocean. I still do have to flip this one over too. So Yeah, I think we just run the people out to anywhere. Pretty sure. Like... There's not really any place that I can take advantage of an already existing thing. I would love to do it by flipping over one of the adjacent worlds, though. And feeding imports to that world is kind of good. What if I... Okay. There we go. That accomplishes the goal while also creating the possibility of flipping more stuff over. We are definitely not doing any of these things in the remaining months. We are definitely going to take mind control because I need it desperately. And then we're going to build a monolith, I guess. Man, there are so many places that are very, very close to flipping over. So what do you need? You need just one import or export. Sadly, you need two, although... Okay, how about this? How about we build monolith? Right, I never did feed this water, which makes getting the second point of minerals actually kind of annoying. But if I do this, and then I build, like, that thing, that does make both of those prosperous. And then if this had any minerals, it would allow me to make make a connection and... Yeah. Unfortunately, doing that does not allow me to finish my monolith. What does it actually give? 1 approval plus 1 approval for each prosperous planet connected. So, let's talk about other schemes for finishing this thing. Sadly, we're all branched over here. Do I have any moves that are relevant on this at all? I don't think so. Do I have any... One thing we do need to look for is Forge Worlds that are close to becoming prosperous. This needs an import and an export, so not that easy. This would not connect to anything that needs goods, because I got rid of the goods need over here. So we probably can't make that into 350 extra stars. So what is the right way? Is there a right way to do this monolith? Is it even worth... Did it turn out to be too valuable to make prosperous planets for it to be worth actually building this thing? I think it did. I think that's where we're at. Okay, how about this? How about this? What if we... What do you need? You need to be connected to one more prosperous planet too. So we can't flip you over. There's no version of that. I'm wondering, what if I turn this into a lens? Because I need to move minerals from here. The monolith itself takes 2 months. Yeah, we just don't have enough time. If I had managed to get this world too successful, it totally would have worked. And so having taken the monolith instead of luxury manufacturing probably has ended up costing us... it for sure has ended up costing us some happiness, because like this world right here would give us 4 points very easily. Yeah, I really thought I was going to be able to make it happen. Oh well. So what's the remaining good plays? Obviously we got to throw down some mind control in some places, but how do we push more prosperity? We do still need an output for some of the minerals here. And unfortunately, most of the worlds around here that need minerals are already spoken for. Okay, what about this? I was trying to see if I could get this to connect to that other relay we have down there. Because then we could... Oh, no, this isn't connected. Like, we could feed the minerals to here, is what I was thinking. But we don't actually get a lot of benefit out of that. Okay, one thing we could do is this. So I can feed population in, mineral out. That flips 3 worlds. And yep, again, manufactured luxury. It would have been so good. It would have been so good, actually. Very disappointing. This is another thing where, like, it would have been better for me to wait until I knew for sure what I was going to do with the science, but the cognitive load of having to remember everything is not necessarily a thing I excel at dealing with, as you have seen in many, many previous games and playthroughs. So you just need one more import. So we don't have we have spare robots nearby, but not nearby in the good way. Nearby in the way where I still have to build a relay. This doesn't actually connect to that. So yeah, we're gonna have to build a relay no matter what. How are you doing? You still need 2 successful exports. You need 2 imports. So we don't quite have time to make this work, but the right thing to do would be to unite these 2, have them both send robots down here via one relay, and then have them both send robots there via another relay. Alright, so you would need to be connected to 3 additional successful planets. We can make that happen like this. Yeah. Wow, actually, this world is successful and almost prosperous without being connected to a single world anywhere. That's that's very unusual. Okay, this one we can totally flip though. So if we build a... Oh, maybe not. Maybe this doesn't quite work. What I need is a relay that lets me run from this world to that world. Robots out. Oh no, that wouldn't quite flip this one over, but it would flip this one and that one together. But it looks like the distances involved just don't quite work. Oh no, okay, there we go. So if it's not going to flip this world though, is there another... There's not another place around here that it would do work on. So yeah, I don't think that's a bad ending. That gets us 2 more worlds. I don't know that we have a series of plays that's going to get us more than 2 more. Oh, this connection. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's a pretty good 1-month play. Again, it's important to remember to do these things, but it's super hard for me to remember to do these things. So that's got us at 154 happiness. And then we have to run around and do some mind control before the final month of movement. And I'm just trying to figure out where else is the good plays. So now that we only have 2 months, it becomes impossible to flip that world or that world. This world needs 2 exports or imports, which would require us to... connection to here gets me biomass in, but does not get me food out because I energied away... Oh, no, never mind. This is a Gaia world. It never needed food in the first place. You're only 1 export or import off, so probably... Now, with only 2 months, though, we can't make any kind of relay moves, so I probably can't fix you. I probably can't fix you. There's no time left for getting water into this one. I think we might just be out of scoring possibilities. Yeah, I can't get rid of these robots no matter what I do. All right, let's run around and hit our mind controls then. So we're going to be able to clear 13 points of unhappiness because I believe mind control does get rid of past shortage unhappiness. All right, so yep, get rid of 1 unemployment here. Get rid of 1 unemployment here. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to tell me exactly where the past shortage unhappiness is coming from. And you can see points of unemployment on the map. You cannot see that other stuff. And I say you can see unemployment on the map, but I am missing 1 point of it somewhere. I got you. Yeah, you must be good. So it's a planet that only has 1 person. You're set. No, I didn't get... Okay. So yeah, somewhere past shortages. Where was the world that I connected up last? Is it you? It's maybe something around here? You're already mind controlled, though. It's not this world, is it? Nope. Oh, I actually ran out of money. Never mind. We are not fixing another one. Well, okay, that could be our last... One of our last 2 months is getting the money to fix this other point of past shortages. Is it down here? Nothing down here has been... And sadly, there is not a report for this either in the reports button. Boy. I might pause the video and just go through the planets one by one, because it is 3% score, and it costs us effectively nothing. We should fix it. All right, wait, no, that said +3 on account of, you know, it being so happy. Yeah, all right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause the video and just go through all of our planets one by one and figure out where those 3 points of past shortages are coming from. I'll see you in a moment. Okay, I found it. It's down here on Tantor 8. I did not remember this planet being out of resources for so long, but yeah, there it is, -3%. So we just got to blow up basically any asteroid. And then press that button, and it does, in fact, delete that unhappiness. And 167, I believe, is where we will end. I don't think that there's anything else we can do at this point. Yeah, this is not... None of the things we can turn this into matter. We have no money. So I think I'm just looking around real quick to see if is there, like, one tiny slipway? It would have to be a tiny one, too, that we could draw that would make a difference? And the answer is definitely no. All right, I'm just gonna hit the button. Let's see what we walked away with there. So our industry focus only got us 2450, which is not exactly where I would have liked to be on that. It's better than the score we would usually get for Empire Size. Yeah, only 26.6, huh? It's not a bad score, but it is lower than I felt like we were doing. I think a lot of the problem lies here. Only half of my planets were prosperous. And then we did, I think we finished, it looks like, maybe 1 round of tasks fewer than we often do on Reasonable. Because I think we get in like the 150s fairly frequently on that. So yeah, overall, that score is, I would describe it as fine. That score is fine. No, I probably won't. I was gonna say I may go back and try this again. It is worth examining, I guess. If we had been on manufactured luxury, how much value would we actually have gotten out of it? We have 1, 2, 3. Without changing strategy at all, we have 3 Forge Worlds kind of in the center of our empire that went to prosperous. So it's pretty easy to connect luxury to 1, 2, 3. We could have made this happen. 4, 5. Yeah, so I missed somewhere between 10 and 12 without making any major strategic changes. Probably ended up missing somewhere between 10 and 12% happiness there, which obviously would have gotten us north of 30K. It would have been all platinum there. So yeah, try to save your decision making. This is not a Slipways thing. This is a literally any game type thing. Try to save decision making until the last moment when you can still make that decision, because at that moment you will have the most information you will ever have during that process. I just wanted to click a thing to sort of relieve the load on my brain, and it did end up costing us probably in the neighborhood of 3,000 points. Frowny face. That said, like I said, the score is fine. I'm not heartbroken. So that's gonna be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. It ain't 220K. When you come back next time on Monday, we're going to be picking tough mode back up, and I'm going to try really hard to actually do that post-scarcity thing, and maybe, like I was saying before, we can give a look to more of a terraforming-based strategy. Obviously, that kind of thing being available is somewhat technology dependent, but we can pick around and find some sectors where we can test it. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So come back on Monday, and we'll see you then.